Anyways, I'm getting coffee ready, and once my coffee's ready, we will start the show. As you can see, it has snowed outside. Not too much, maybe like an inch or two. Nothing too crazy with snow yet. It's just cold and windy, really, is all it is. And the wind and cold really is like the worst part of the winter. You know, I don't mind snow. I can deal with snow, but when it's like 20 negative degrees outside, whatever, and the wind's whipping up like 60 miles an hour, then we got a problem. Then it gets a little too cold. It's like burr, burr. So I don't try to I don't try to go outside too much. I never really been I never been a big really I never really been like a really big winter sports person and really big into winter sports. So I don't like ski, snowboard. I don't have a snowmobile. I can do me. I could probably do those things. I just don't really like. I don't enjoy doing them. My ideal isn't hanging out in the cold and going snowboarding. But to each their own. I'm not gonna. People are allowed to do whatever. All right. Coffee. How's everyone doing out there? Hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving yesterday. Saw some friends, saw some family, ate some food. I know my Thanksgiving was pretty fruitful. So, but let's get the show started. How's everyone doing out there? Wake Up Justin is live for 11282025. November 28th, 2025. Welcome in, welcome all. Peace be on the stream, peace be within you all, and peace be with everyone today as they go out throughout their day and their routine and activities. Hold on. No. I could have swore that I put incense in my incense holder, and now it's gone. What? That makes no sense. Weird. I swore I put incense in my incense holder just literally a minute ago. Very strange. But as always today, I'm gonna come on here. We'll do my little morning talk, have a little discussion, and then we'll watch some videos today, as per usual. What I want to talk about today. So I kind of want to talk about well, I was talking about my friend the other night. Hold on a second. I was talking about my friend the other night, which is like I think I touched on this on a stream or two ago, and he really, well, I didn't really expand on it more, but it's more so of like Jesus being the mile marker for the highest spiritual human ever to exist, on Earth, and how he is the mile marker for all humans and how they should exist on this earth. He's the, highest, purest example of a human we have in recorded history with his teachings and the way he taught and everything else. You know, it's kind of like I said before, it's kind of like this whole thing of like mile markers and different things. It's kind of like, Michael Jordan's the mile marker for basketball. Everyone wants to be as good or better than Michael Jordan was. You know, same thing with golf. Tiger Woods. Everybody wants to be as good or better as Tiger Woods. So those kind of things, but different because it's meaningful. It's meaningful. He was the mile marker of humans. He was the highest spiritual, holy human we had on Earth. So that's like why the way he lives, the way he talked, and what he did should be the example and the marker for all humans out there on this earth. For that reason, because he is the purest form of a human. If you walk, you walked in his footsteps, you won't be led astray. And I think I was thinking about this earlier today when I woke up. It's kind of like he talked in, Jesus talked in parables, and the Bible hits so hard and is so metaphorical and everything, because it doesn't nothing that most things in that book isn't about the flesh. It's about the spirit and the soul. So he doesn't tell you, you need to go to the gym. He's not going to be a motivational speaker. He's not going to be like, you need to go to the gym, work out, get up early, and all those things. He's trying to make sure your soul is right, and feed your soul the knowledge it needs to exist after this life and on to the next one. So that's why I think people have a hard time understanding it or even connecting with it, because if you disconnected yourself with soul throughout your life by just not caring, denouncing, going down the wrong path, making the wrong choices, living in sin, and everything else that comes with it, it's harder for you to kind of connect with that spirit and everything, even though it never leaves you and it never goes away. And at any point, you can turn around and it will be there for you. That's also like part of it. I feel like when I come on here, it's like harder for me to realize, or not realize, but it's hard for me to say what I was thinking about, because I've had thoughts in my head the last couple hours where it's like, man, I really need to talk about this and put it down. But it's like now it's kind of like, I've kind of lost it all a little bit for some reason. I don't know why, but it's kind of like disappeared. And it's I just don't get how people don't see it yet. I don't get how people even don't believe that Jesus was a real person. I don't get why people still don't believe that. It's still mind-boggling to me that people don't believe that, and don't believe in the Lord and Savior and His Father. We already talked about Him, and it's weird. It's man, like all my thoughts just went out the door when I come on stream, man. It really does. I don't know why, but it does. It's kind of annoying and frustrating a little bit, actually. Maybe I need to start writing down like things I can say and things I can talk about when I'm on stream. So I'm not sure where I want to go with this now. Jesus was the mile marker for human existence and the purest form of soul possible. And the way he talked and what he did, wasn't about the flesh or worldly possessions or anything like that. It was about the soul. And that's why well, I think the soul within you and your body is like the soul within your body within you is kind of like an electrical plasma, like not plasma, but how I like how I visualize it. It's almost like a purple mist thing that's like electrified that's inside of you, and then the choices you make and the things you do in life either have a positive or negative charge within your soul, you know, and that in return charges your body and like kind of electrifies your body um a little bit, you know, and then your soul, you know, when you die, your soul leaves your body and it has a charge to it, I believe. It either has a charge or a weight to it, and you either float up or you sink down, I want to say. So I was working out with some guy at the gym, and I'm not working out with him, but he knows who I am. He talks to me once in a while, and um, he goes, we were talking about something. He goes, we were talking, and he brought up, a feather versus a heart, which is funny because I made a video one time about the meaning of a feather versus a heart and why the Egyptians weighed a heart against a feather. And the reason why the Egyptians weighed your heart against a feather and kind of symbolized that thing of a heart being weighed against a feather is because like the feather is a symbolism of a pure soul. It's it's very light. It can float. It can float on its own. It floats upwards. And the choices you make and the things you do in life, gives you, puts weight on your heart. That's why he'll say you have a heavy heart or your heart is light. So if you're a pure person with a pure soul, your heart should be lighter than a feather, because to them the feather represented the feather symbolized a pure heart. That's why they weighed it against a feather, for that fact right there. And then if your heart was heavier than the feather, you're a bad person. They fed you to the three-headed beast to eat your soul for eternity. But that's the symbolism behind that, I believe, was the heart versus the feather. But he made a good point of how the feather can rise up on its own without anything near it, without any help or nothing like that. Just like, we as humans have the ability to rise up on our own and just make that choice one day and not really think of it and just be of it, Life's beautiful, man. You just gotta learn how to live it. And live it within the way of Christ. And people always say, I think people have individuality wrong, but I think people have a wrong misconception of what they think it is to be an individual. And this is why I believe people have a misconception of that, is because being an individual isn't about doing what you want and dyeing your hair and piercing your face, getting tattoos, and buying a motorcycle or whatever it may be. That's not what an individual is. People think that's what makes them an individual. That's not what makes you an actual individual. What actually makes you an individual, is, spreading is not spreading, but projecting, the truth out into the world of the Father and Son and the Holy Spirit, taking that truth and projecting it out into the world in your own form of whatever it may be. That's an individual, is doing those things and but in your own way, whatever it may be, whatever you may do, whether it's architecture, painting, making music, doing live streams, whatever it is, whatever you're creating in life, your creation should be the universal truth of the world. That should be what you're creating, and through your individual experiences in life and how you create whatever, that's what makes you the individual. Because I was having my friend the other day, he made a picture or whatever, but like he didn't need to explain it to me because I already knew what he was trying to say, even though it was so abstract and most people won't understand it. It's like once you're speaking a certain language through what you create, people understand it, or some people do and some people don't because they're not in the same light as you are. Or a lot of people are in the darkness. A lot of people are in the darkness, dude. A lot of people work for Satan, man. I don't think people understand that. I can see it a lot more and more now. But they're trying to be an individual, but they don't know how to be one because they're serving Satan. And, Satan's the Antichrist, the false, a false god who people worship on this planet. And I can I'm trying to figure out like an example to give about that, of people thinking like, dude, everyone talks about drugs, money, girls, clothes, cars, sex, and all those things. That doesn't make you an individual, dude. That's easy, dude. Anyone can fall into those easy traps and things like that, but it takes an individual or whatever to live for a higher purpose and live a higher life. That's a real individual. That's real hard work. Living in a world full of sin and trying to be good. Don't let the world dim your light, because it will. That's what it wants to do. The world wants to dim your light any way possible. Even people around you want to dim your light any way possible. Your friends, your family, your coworkers. People see your light or see you shining, they get jealous. Because they don't know, they don't understand it. They don't know how you got it. They can't grasp it. So they get jealous of it, and they don't want you to succeed. They don't want you to become successful. They want you to suffer with them, And it's like, if you're doing good, you're following the words of Jesus and things like that, it's like you shouldn't have any fear in your heart. You shouldn't be fearful, because you know where you're going to end up going. No matter what happens to you, you're taken care of, and that you shouldn't have to worry about where you're going to go in the next life. It's like if you go to work and you do your job correctly. Like, I work in a kitchen and I close the kitchen down, right? But it's like, if I close the kitchen down properly every night and make sure everything's labeled, covered, coolers are clean, trash is taken out, and all those things, well, it's like then I can sleep easy, so I know I did my job right. But like if I close the kitchen down and I do a bad job, well, the next day, when I go home at night, I'm gonna be worried, because it's be like, well, then the place is a mess. I know someone's gonna say something to me tomorrow. I'm gonna get a group text saying, why does the kitchen look like this? So it's like you can't really rest at all, because your mind is worried about what the outcome is going to be, because you're too lazy to do the right thing in the first place. Where if you did the right thing in the first place, you wouldn't have to worry at all. Same thing goes with your soul and spirit. If you do the thing if you're doing the right thing in life and you know it, and you're helping people, helping others, and all those things, helping yourself, becoming the better you, all those things that Jesus, you shouldn't be fearful, and you can rest better, because if something happens to you, where your soul's going to go. And that's why, no matter how rich you are, how poor you are, what you're going through in life, whether you're sick, not sick, whatever it is. If your soul is pure and following the word of Jesus and his teachings and how he lived life, and you're trying to, walk in his path, you shouldn't really be fearful of anything. It shouldn't matter what happens to you. Because that's the truth. Because, like I said, Jesus is not concerned about how much money you have, or worldly or fleshly things. He's worried about your soul and where it's going. And that's why I said, you should be able to rest easy, no matter how poor, how rich, how sick, how healthy. For that fact. Is your soul right? If your soul is right, you shouldn't worry about anything. It doesn't matter. You should be able to walk through fire if you wanted to. Being fearless. It's the armor of God, It shouldn't matter. You should be able to walk in a lion's den. It doesn't matter. Because you have so much faith. People people are lost a lot in the flesh, in the veil of this world, and fall into old habits and old ways. Because once the devil gets a foot in the door, it's all he needs, man. Doesn't matter what it is. Whether it be alcohol, drugs, porn, doesn't matter, dude. Just needs a foot in the door. That's all it takes. Foot in the door, going, hey, let me in, come on. I want to party. Talking to you while the door's barely open halfway and his face is peeking in. I want to talk to you. Come on, let me in. I just want to party a little bit. Come on. I brought some girls. I brought some beer. Come on. That's all it takes. Once you let him in, he's there. He's in your house. Sitting on the couch, feet on the coffee table, leading you down the wrong path, in the wrong way. Like I always say, man, we never, Jesus never left us. We left the Father, and we left Jesus. It's like a kid, it's like a kid with their parents. And the kids, you take the kid to the fair, and you're like, stay next to me, don't go anywhere, and the kid slowly starts wandering away from you. Same thing we did with Jesus. We people start slowly wandering away from him. Hopefully, you don't wander too far, and you can't see him. Or he can't hear your call to find you. But people gotta start realizing those kind of things, man. It's real. Cares about this. You gotta stop worrying so much about possessions, man. It's clouding up your mind. The money-hungry, possession-driven society is just that we live in. Capitalist society and everything is just like it's clogging up everyone's minds, man. Who cares, dude? Who cares? Doesn't matter. You can't take any of this with you when you die. None of it goes with you. Not a single inch of it. Nothing. Does not matter. The only thing that leaves with you is your soul and where it goes. That's what matters. I can't take these things with me, So hopefully people come to realization of that. Now sit here and spread that, every morning. Stop putting value on things, dude. Stop putting value on possessions. Stop putting value on people just because they have money. A person who has money doesn't make them valuable. Doesn't give them anything. Can't buy a good soul. Can't buy a good heart. I don't think people realize that. You can't buy a good heart with money. Can't happen. You can buy a new heart. It's funny because I can see it in my head, like someone be like, "Yeah, you could buy a good person's heart, but it doesn't matter though, because it's man, it's a funny paradoxical um thing. Because like even if you were a bad, let's say you were a bad person, you had a bad heart, and you bought a good person's heart, it wouldn't matter. The soul makes the person, and the person makes the soul. That makes sense. That's the person makes the soul, and the soul makes the person. It's a it's like a forgery, It's life's gotta hammer you out. You have to go through life to hammer out a soul. It's the process. I can't. It's hard. That's hard to put. That's hard to put into words and make people understand that one. I'm laughing because I understand it, and I can, it clicks in my head, and I can see it in my head. But for someone to understand that doesn't, that's not on this kind of path and vibration type thing, whatever. Like, that's be hard for them to understand. The person makes the soul, and the soul makes the person. So you still need a body to be able to go out into the world, to experience things and live life, to shape and create the soul. But the soul also creates man. But yeah, that's a hard one to try to explain to people that don't speak the lingo or the language. So I don't know how to tie that one up nicely on a bowl for you. Sorry. But I just wish people would realize it, man, and just like wake up to the fact of that, and that's why his name is so powerful, and the words, and when people speak, the truth, the universal truth, and speak, within the light, it touches people and it moves people, because it's not hitting your flesh, it's hitting your soul. It's hitting what's inside. It's hitting what's inside of you. That's what's different about it. That's why it's powerful. As always, Leader's Heart Daily Devotional 365. What's the day again? November 28th. Let's see what today says. November 28th. Oh, it's nothing. The news of these things came to the ears of the church in Jerusalem, and they sent out Barnabas to go as far as Antioch. When he came and he had seen the grace of God, he was glad and encouraged them all that with purpose of heart they should continue with the Lord, for he was a good man full of the Holy Spirit and of faith, and a great many people were added to the Lord. Acts 11:22-24. If an early church leader could be called a servant, it is Barnabas. He initiated and did whatever it took to raise morale, men, and money. He led with clarity and by example by becoming a servant. He considered no task too small. What allowed Barnabas to demonstrate such a lifestyle he had? Nothing to prove. Barnabas didn't have to play games. He never sought the limelight. When he mentored Paul, he happily let the emerging apostles rise above him. Nothing to lose. Barnabas didn't have to guard his reputation or fear that he would lose popularity. He came to serve, not be served. This enabled him to focus on giving, not getting. Nothing to hide. Barnabas didn't maintain a facade or image. He remained authentic, vulnerable, and transparent. He could rejoice with others' victories. How can you apply Barnabas' lifestyle to your own? I mean, I kind of already do this already. I don't think I kind of spoken on this already today, this morning, really. Yeah, that's what that's what a good leader is. And that's what makes a leader hard. And that's why people, that's, you know, that's what a leader is. And that's why it's hard for people to be a leader, because it's like a leader should take the fault, but share the or take the fault and share the accomplishments. A lot of people who lead teams, whatever, when things go good, they get like and their boss tells them good job or whatever it is, they take the full limelight. They don't share it with others, even though it takes the team to do it. A lot of people that manage people or lead people always take the credit for everything, and they never share the credit. That's what it is. Is leaders take blame and share credit and share the credit. That's what the saying was, and that's true. And that's why it's hard for people to lead other people, because a lot of people want to look good in the limelight or look good in front of others instead of sharing with others. And that's how you build a strong team, is by giving credit where credit's due and giving people their dues. So they look at you as a true leader because you're not afraid to let them have their moment. You're not sitting there trying to hog everything. And like that's why it also hard is being a leader, because it's like it's about you, but it's not about you. It's about the team. And at some point you have to do the hard things no one wants to do for your team. That's what makes you the leader in the first place, is that you're willing to do the hardest thing no one wants to do, but you can do it without complaining about it or yelling about it or anything like that. That's what makes that's what makes a good leader. And that's what a lot of people can't lead properly for. That fact is like your job is to do the hardest thing no one wants to do. That's why you're the leader, because you know how to handle it. So being a leader isn't easy. But then again, no one said it was. So, but with that said, hopefully you'll get there one day. Listen, um, I'll be on here tomorrow. Um, I'll be on tomorrow. I'll try to get more of a together stream put about, or more of a streamline stream. So until next time, like always, take care of yourself, take care of others. May peace be with you. I'm Justin. I love you. I'll see you tomorrow. It's Friday, almost the weekend. Peace.